People say the punches weren't really necessary. Maybe
they were super necessary.
Clock is brought to you by Modelo.
But the referee hadn't pulled me off. And my job is to hit somebody till the referee pulls me off.
Jorge Masvidal's story is a true rags to riches tale, beginning with illegal backyard brawls in Miami and ending up with him becoming one of the richest fighters the UFC has ever seen. Despite the humble beginnings, Masvidal steadily climbed the ranks and became one of the greatest UFC fighters of all time, with a fighting career that lasted over 20 years. In the last couple of years, he arguably became the second biggest MMA star in the world, right behind Conor McGregor. His remarkable career spanning over 2 decades witnessed him going toe-to-toe with the world's best fighters and earning the title of second biggest MMA star, right behind Conor McGregor. Let's delve deeper into the life and career of the man they call Gamebred.
MMA Fighter Spot? Man, that channel is fucking great.
Growing up in Miami, the young Jorge Masvidal found himself drawn to the dangerous world of underground street fighting. The allure of the adrenaline-pumping brawls kept him coming back, despite the numerous risks involved. His natural fighting instincts quickly gained him notoriety, and it wasn't long before he met Kevin Kimbo Slice Ferguson, the undisputed king of street fighting. The two developed a strong bond, with Kimbo mentoring Masvidal on the art of fighting and survival in the ruthless world of backyard brawls, under Kimbo's tutelage.
Slice, rest in peace, was at the same gym that I was training at in Miami, and they were kind enough to, they'd see me working out, and they're like, hey, you wanna fight?
Masvidal's reputation as a formidable street fighter grew, and his brutal bouts began to garner attention from the internet.
I never thought it would generate the millions and millions of views that it's generated. It's one of the biggest fights that most people recognize me for still to this day.
Despite his increasing fame, Masvidal knew that the world of street fighting had its limitations, and he sought to transition into the professional world of mixed martial arts. Masvidal's journey into professional fighting began in 2003 with the Florida Absolute Fighting Championship, also known as AFC. It was in this organization that he first crossed paths with Bruce Buffer, the legendary announcer who would later call many of his UFC bouts. Masvidal made a name for himself in the AFC, becoming the organization's most popular fighter.
I think the ref's going to stop this fight. Here it is. It's over.
His success in Florida led him to the international stage with organizations like Bodog Fight and Strikeforce. Masvidal managed to compile an impressive 12-1 record during this period, showcasing his skills against top-level competition. His time in Bellator further solidified his status as an elite fighter, and his return to Strikeforce brought him face-to-face with Gilbert Melendez, one of the most accomplished lightweights in the sport. Although Masvidal suffered a close loss, his performance caught the attention of the UFC. Upon signing with the UFC in 2013, Masvidal wasted no time making an impact. His ferocious fighting style and unwavering readiness to compete earned him the nickname Gamebred. Over the course of his first 6 fights of the promotion, Masvidal won 5, establishing himself as a serious contender in the lightweight division. Despite the early success, Masvidal hit a rough patch in 2015, losing 3 out of 4 fights. However, each defeat came by way of a close split decision, highlighting his grit and tenacity. The lone victory during this period was a welterweight debut against Cesar Ferreira, after which Masvidal decided to remain in the welterweight division, citing difficulties in cutting weight. His career experienced a resurgence with consecutive wins against Ross Pearson, Jake Ellenberger, and Donald Cowboy Cerrone. The knockout victory over Cerrone earned him a Performance of the Night bonus and solidified his status as a top welterweight contender.
Oh, another knockdown for Gamebred.
In March 2019, Masvidal faced rising star Darren Till in London.
I want to knock Masvidal out, dude.
Let's do it, man. Let's scrap. On my tools, but I'm looking to break his face. That's, if I'm speaking from my heart, I want to punch him in the face. You know, nothing personal, but it's just what I like to do.
Despite being the underdog, he knocked out Till in the second round, earning another Performance of the Night bonus. While the spectacular knockout put Masvidal on the radar of many MMA fans, it was an unexpected post-fight confrontation that truly launched him into the limelight. In a backstage interview, Masvidal was confronted by fellow welterweight contender Leon Edwards. Words were exchanged and tensions quickly escalated. With cameras rolling, Masvidal threw a combination of punches that landed on Edwards' face, leaving him with a visible cut. The altercation quickly went viral, garnering millions of views and thrusting Masvidal into the mainstream consciousness. The incident only bolstered Masvidal's bad boy image. As Masvidal's star rose after knocking out Darren Till in his backstage clash with Leon Edwards, fans couldn't wait to see what was next for Gamebred. The UFC set up an electrifying matchup with undefeated wrestler Ben Askren at the epic UFC 239 event in July 2019.
Any way I want.
But how do you think?
I dominate him whole time.
Finish him?
Possibly.
Fans had a classic striker versus grappler showdown on their hands, with many believing that Askren's wrestling prowess would end up putting the brakes on the fast-rising Masvidal. The tension in the air was palpable, and the opening bell sounded. Both fighters were eager to make a statement, yet only one would manage to do so. In one of the most shocking and unforgettable moments in MMA history, Masvidal sprinted across the octagon and launched himself in the air, connecting with a perfectly timed flying knee that landed flush on Askren's chin. The impact was devastating, and Askren crumpled to the canvas, out cold before he even hit the ground. The crowd erupted in disbelief, and the entire MMA world was left in awe. Masvidal had just scored the fastest knockout in UFC history, ending the fight in an astonishing 5 seconds.
That dude was talking wild, man. You know, I had to show him that there's consequences sometimes. There's some bad out there, you don't want to wake him up.
As the dust settled and the magnitude of his accomplishment began to sink in, Masvidal was awarded yet another Performance of the Night bonus for his extraordinary feat. Overnight, Gamebred became a global sensation, with a spectacular knockout making headlines around the world. Fans and celebrities alike cheered and discussed the incredible knockout on social media, and Masvidal's star power reached new heights. In the meantime, UFC President Dana White concocted an intriguing idea: the creation of a one-time-only BMF, baddest motherfucker title. This unique belt would be contested by two of the most popular and exciting fighters in the welterweight division, Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz.
All respect to the man, but there ain't no gangsters in this game anymore. There ain't nobody who does it right but me and him. So I know my man's a gangster, but he ain't no West Coast gangster.
The idea generated a tremendous amount of buzz among fans and fighters alike. The fight was rather interesting, with both of them showcasing their striking skills, toughness, and determination. In the end, Masvidal's striking proved to be too much for Diaz, and the fight was stopped by the doctor due to a deep cut above Diaz's eye, resulting in a TKO victory for Masvidal. Although we all know that Diaz's fight only starts when one of the Diaz brothers starts to bleed. And so, Gamebred was awarded the BMF title. His impressive performance earned him a shot at the welterweight championship against Kamaru Usman at UFC 251 in July 2020.
Usman can try to sell whatever he wants to the public, but people ain't stupid, man. You're a fucking idiot if anybody's gonna believe this shit you're saying.
Despite the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and taking the fight on only 6 days' notice, Masvidal didn't even think for 1 second when the opportunity presented itself and stepped into the octagon. Although he lost the fight by unanimous decision, he earned the respect of the MMA community. Following a series of high-profile fights, including a rematch with Nate Diaz and a second championship bout with Kamaru Usman, Masvidal's time as a top UFC contender began to wane. After a loss to Colby Covington in one of the highest-selling fights in UFC history in a final bout against Gilbert Burns, Masvidal decided to retire from professional competition. Throughout his storied career, Masvidal amassed a record 35 wins and 17 losses, with 12 wins and 10 losses in the UFC. Despite his recent setbacks, he has found success outside of the octagon.
I love everybody. I love this sport. I'm a multi-millionaire. I didn't start from I didn't have when I started. And I can say I'm good for life now.
Launching his own profitable alcoholic beverage and a fighting promotion, among other business ventures. As Masvidal steps away from the sport, he leaves behind an indelible legacy as one of the greatest fighters to ever grace the octagon.
You take somebody's soul in there, that gets a crowd going, that gets the promoters going, that gets the matchmakers going.
His incredible journey from Miami's backyard brawls to the pinnacle of the MMA is a testament to his unyielding determination, making Jorge Gamebred Masvidal a true legend of the sport.